You know, Mark, at one point, he was regarded as one of West Ham's best players. Why are they letting him go?
Que é um investimento que assusta quem olha de fora, principalmente lá na Europa, porque é um investimento que poderia ter sido feito por outro clube do futebol da Europa. Hoje pela manhã, eu assisti a um programa, um pedaço de um programa lá da Inglaterra, uma mesa redonda da Inglaterra, um programa de esportes, e eles comentando justamente sobre a contratação do Paquetá. E o comentarista dizia, aliás, muito bem informado o comentarista, sobre a grandeza do Flamengo, né? Impressionante a grandeza do Flamengo, impressionado com o poderio financeiro do Flamengo, dizendo que era um dos grandes clubes do mundo. Ele citou o Flamengo como um dos grandes clubes do mundo, o melhor clube da América do Sul, o melhor clube do futebol brasileiro, e explicando que o Flamengo ganhou muito dinheiro nos últimos anos com as conquistas, com a questão da reestruturação financeira, a gestão de excelência, a gestão eficiente, que no ano passado o Flamengo ganhou muito dinheiro no Mundial de Clubes, por exemplo, né? E que o Flamengo tem dinheiro para fazer esse investimento, que é um investimento que assusta quem olha de fora, principalmente lá na Europa, porque é um investimento que poderia ter sido feito por outro clube do futebol da Europa. É uma transferência com valores de transferência de futebol da Europa. O Paquetá poderia ter saído do West Ham, ido para o Tottenham, que chegou a mostrar um interesse no jogador. Ele poderia ter ido jogar no Manchester United, no Manchester City, antes de acontecer o problema que aconteceu com ele da acusação sobre manipulação de resultados. O Guardiola tinha interesse na contratação dele, ele só não foi para o City por causa disso. E o Renan falou sobre o impacto da contratação do jogador e citou o Gabigol. Eu acho que é ainda mais forte do que o Gabigol, porque a gente tem que lembrar que o Gabigol, à época, na Inter de Milão, ele estava para escanteio. O Gabigol não deu certo na Europa, né?
Sim.
O Flamengo contratou um jogador que depois entrou para a história do Flamengo como um dos grandes artilheiros, né? Como conquistando grandes títulos, mas na Europa ele estava escanteado, né? Ele foi negociado justamente porque estava escanteado, porque não estava sendo aproveitado na Europa, porque senão, dificilmente à época o Flamengo traria o Gabigol para o futebol brasileiro. Dessa vez é diferente, o Flamengo está contratando um jogador que está no auge da carreira e que tem mercado no futebol da Europa. Está tirando um jogador que é titular de um time da Premier League. Pode não ser um time de ponta, não é um time de ponta, mas ele tem mercado no futebol da Europa e é um jogador da seleção brasileira que estará na Copa do Mundo. A simbologia, e o Renan tem toda a razão, é muito forte, porque mostra a força do Flamengo no futebol mundial, né, trazendo uma contratação dessa. Se isso vai mudar a mentalidade dos jogadores, eu não sei se isso vai acontecer em curto prazo, porque eu sou da época em que o jogador de futebol, nas categorias de base, principalmente no interior, eu sou do interior de São Paulo, tinha o sonho, jogadores que jogavam no Guarani, na Ponte Preta, por exemplo, tinham o sonho de jogar nos clubes grandes da capital, né? Hoje em dia, esses garotos já têm o sonho de jogar no futebol da Europa. E muitos deles nem passam pelos grandes da capital, né? Os que passam nas categorias de base dos clubes grandes também já vão direto para a Europa antes de jogar no profissional. Isso é algo que tem que ser modificado aos poucos, mas o Flamengo dá um primeiro passo de força, de mostrar para o jogador que está no auge que talvez seja melhor para ele renovar o contrato e permanecer no futebol brasileiro do que jogar no futebol da Europa num time médio. É muito melhor você jogar no Flamengo, que vai jogar e vai buscar disputar títulos. Você vai ganhar bem, o Flamengo tem condições de pagar os mesmos salários que porventura um jogador desse vai ganhar na Europa, e na Europa você de repente vai jogar num time médio que não disputa títulos. Sem contar a vitrine que é o Flamengo para você chegar na seleção brasileira. Então, acho que simbolicamente é uma contratação gigante, viu, Júlio?
Só a gente tem como exemplo o Samuel Lino, né? Que nunca tinha sido convocado, veio para cá, vive um momento hoje, na minha opinião, abaixo do Carrascal e do Everton Cebolinha, que jogam na função, e chegou a ser convocado por uma oportunidade, entrou em campo na eliminatórias, contra a Bolívia, por exemplo, como titular.
Ele chega bem, né, Júlio? Mas depois ele cai vertiginosamente.
Na verdade, o Samuel Lino, na minha opinião, a melhor partida dele foi a estreia. Foi contra o Atlético Mineiro no Maracanã, em que ele faz aquele gol anulado no finalzinho, né? Poderia ter sido, inclusive, determinante para a classificação do Flamengo. Acabou que o Flamengo foi eliminado na oportunidade nos pênaltis, no jogo lá em Minas, mesmo vencendo por 1-0, gol do Cebolinha. Né? E ele fez uma jogadaça, né? Em que ele tortou o Lianco lá e o outro rapaz, e quase faz um gol de placa na sua estreia. Seria de botar o Maracanã abaixo. Imagina o Flamengo virar o jogo 2-1 com 2 gols do Samuel Lino, com aquele gol ali que ele quase que fez, né? Foi muito mais mérito do goleiro do que do atacante. Mas voltando ao assunto...
Ele só tem um problema, Júlio. Falta para o Samuel Lino ser realmente esse jogador, o jogador do ataque, ser objetivo, porque drible ele tem. A gente sabe que ele é um bom driblador, tem velocidade, mas falta a objetividade por parte dele ser um finalizador. Falta isso. É por isso que o Cebolinha hoje está entrando em campo e está sendo melhor do que ele. Porque o Cebolinha hoje, quando entra em campo, ele é muito mais objetivo do que o Samuel Lino. Samuel Lino, às vezes, tem a oportunidade de fazer uma finalização ou até mesmo um cruzamento para buscar um companheiro, uma assistência, prefere um drible a mais. É por isso que hoje, para mim, o Samuel Lino está com esse déficit aí com a torcida e com o time.
Okay, fascinating stuff. Right, let's go to West Ham now. It looks like Lucas Paquetá is finally leaving. Carve, bring us up to speed with the latest on the deal.
Well, a deal has now been verbally agreed between Flamengo and West Ham United for Lucas Paquetá. The deal is worth around 41 million euros. We've been told a fraction over 41 million euros, which means that it is just under 36 million pounds. Now, the player himself wants to go to Flamengo straight away. I know there's been talk that he may be loaned back to West Ham, but the latest information we have is that Flamengo are pretty confident that they are going to get him immediately. And their Brazilian league season actually starts on Thursday. I think for the player himself, this is a dream move. He was at Flamengo from when he was 10 to 22. He left Flamengo to sign for AC Milan, then went to Lyon, then went to West Ham. But for a pretty long time, behind closed doors, he's been making it clear to West Ham United that he wants out. For personal reasons, he wants to return to Brazil. And I think this week, his dream to return back to Flamengo, where it all started for him, will come true.
You know, Mark, at one point, he was regarded as one of West Ham's best players. Why are they letting him go?
Because the player wants to leave. And I've said it a number of times on transfer shows. I did an interview with David Sullivan last year, and he always said you cannot keep unhappy players at the football club. You just have to try and drive the best possible deal you can, but it's never ideal. He's actually not been involved in West Ham's last 3 games, and guess what? They've won all 3 matches. Didn't miss him at the weekend against Sunderland, and maybe just him not being in that starting 11 allows someone else to step into that void, become the new main man, and do what Paquetá has done for so many years at West Ham. You can see his record in the Premier League. Now, he's always consistent with goals and assists pretty much. You can see he's got 4 goals already this season, which actually equals his best ever goal-scoring season for West Ham. So the numbers stack up. I think the one thing that West Ham will miss is his bite, his energy, his enthusiasm, his passion.
His yellow cards.
His yellow cards.
Oh, wow.
Carve said that, not me.
He's got more yellow cards than goals for West Ham, I think.
Okay.
But again, sometimes that type of a player is what you need on the pitch. You need someone to put their foot in. And West Ham fans identify with players that give 100%. And leave your foot in on the challenge. Be a little bit aggressive. Go and win the ball back. Go and grab the game by the scruff of the neck. And at times he did that. And that's something that they are going to really miss. But you look at the stats. Yeah, he's been a key player. Nearly got that move to Manchester City. But now he's getting the dream move back to Flamengo. I think most West Ham fans will say, thanks for everything. You want it to go, no problem. And then they'll start to look at those players that can drop into that position and give them something a little bit different.
Do you think it might have been different had they not won those or, you know, done so well without him in those last couple of games?
I think the fact that they've had a real upturn in results recently makes it a lot easier for West Ham fans to let one of their better players go at what they would feel was a cut price deal. Now, we know that Brazilian clubs don't have a lot of money to spend, so therefore West Ham had to get what they could. And I actually think they've got a really good deal because of, you know, what's been going on with Paquetá, the fact he's 28 years old. He wants to move on as well. So I think everyone will park this in the both parties are happy.
Yeah, where have Flamengo got this money from, Carve? Nearly £36 million. Tell us.
I'm going to bang the drum for Flamengo because I was lucky enough to see them play last summer. They are the champions of Brazil. They are the champions of South America. They are one of the biggest clubs in the world. Their turnover, I think, went up 25% last year. So they are as rich as some Premier League clubs. I think their turnover is something like 250 million euros. They make a lot of money from selling players. I think last year they made around 80 million pounds from selling players. They also got a big windfall from playing in the Club World Cup last summer in the US. If you remember, they beat Chelsea, I think, 3-1 in Philadelphia. I'm pretty sure I was actually at that game. But they did drop that
Extra info that wasn't required.
I'm pretty sure I was there. They made it to the second round of the Club World Cup, and they ended up making £20 million from playing in that competition. So they are richer than people think. But this is an absolutely massive deal for Brazilian football. I mean, it's almost unheard of for a Brazilian club to buy back a player from a European club for 36 million pounds. And Lucas Paquetá, I'm sure he's looking forward to swapping the London Stadium for one of the most famous stadiums in the world, the Maracanã in Rio. The record attendance there, 173,000 for a game.
Well, shall we? And this return, this long, drawn-out return to Brazil is getting even closer now, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very close now. A deal of around 35.8 million has been agreed verbally and will be formalised, we think, over the next 24 hours or so. We know he's been keen to return to Brazil, to join Flamengo straight away, and maybe make his debut away at Sao Paulo. Look, I'm sure West Ham fans who are watching this now will look back on it with a bit of sadness, to be honest with you. Well, we know how great player he is at first, what a signing he was under David Moyes. Played that fantastic assist for Jarrod Bowen as West Ham lifted the UEFA Conference League. So he will always be part of West Ham's history, but of course with everything he's had to endure over the last couple of years, the case in terms of the alleged betting breaches, and you know the red card he had before Christmas against Liverpool as well, which was a bit unsavoury as well. So it's been a tough couple of years for him at West Ham. And they could have probably got a lot more because he's a much better player than what that value is.
Well, they paid over £50 million for him, didn't they, from Lyon? And it was supposed to be a really exciting signing when David Moyes brought him in, essentially replacing Lingard, who they had on loan when they were pushing towards the top four places in the Premier League. But, Jeff, we know with Nuno, he makes his mind up very quickly on players. And he will be thinking, reading between the lines, look, I don't want players here who aren't up for this scrap, up for this fight, because it is a real fight now for West Ham and a realistic one for them to stay up.
Yeah, it's not looking pretty for them. I think we've said it from the start of the season. There's not been a good feel around the club, with whether it's with the fans or in the background and the players and all. And he's made it aware that he wants to go home. So finally, it seems like it's happening, and he's getting a chance to get out of the club. And you know, for West Ham, it's if he doesn't want to be there, and they are in such a battle to stay in the league. They need players who are willing to fight in every game, and they've probably assessed that and thought he doesn't want to be here, he's not going to give us everything, so we won't stand in his way anymore.